On today's episode, a 20-year-old country artist from Littlestown, PA, born right on the Mason-Dixon line, raised on big dreams and even bigger melodies. At 17, she hit the road for Nashville to study songwriting at Belmont University, diving headfirst into the heart of Music City. With a voice that grips you and songs that tell real stories, my next guest blends heartfelt country grit with cinematic emotion, from school talent shows to televised Christmas special, and now the voice. Not only turning heads and winning hearts every step of the way, but has been living her dream, making real moves, and who can't wait to show you all what she's made of. And now on the line now is NBC The Voice Season 28 finalist and singer-songwriter Aubrey Nicole. Aubrey, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful.
Well, I mean, I try to create more of of a more punchier intro nowadays because
Yeah,
I've done this podcast for a couple of years now, and I'm like the intros were so bland, and I'm like I have to put some sort of punch in it.
that was great. That was really good.
Well, shout out to ChatGPT, everybody
Oh,
who
yep.
uses it now.
You
Yeah,
gotta love that.
so that's sort of the thing that assists me with
Yeah.
building these intros. Well, I mean, first and foremost, Belmont University. What was that experience like? And I guess, are you still studying there right now?
Yeah, I'm in classes today. I just finished not too long ago. My today it's the second day of school for the new semester. So it's this whole experience has been super great. Belmont is so accommodating just because I mean they're used to kids doing this and they're used to kids, hitting the road and having to accommodate to tours and kids just not being able to be here because they're following their dreams. So I've gotten super lucky. All my teachers have been nothing but excited for me.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, born right on the Mason-Dixon line, I guess that tells a lot about your story as an artist and your new song One Lane that we will be playing here shortly. Um, I want to talk about sort of your lane to Belmont University, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What is that journey like to go from sort of this artist who kind of like puts covers online and basically is like any other like like regular like artist who starts out like in their bedroom recording videos and putting them on social media, then all of a sudden you get the experience of being on The Voice and now being at Belmont University sort of experience. How does that whole journey come together? Tell me more about that.
It's definitely been a crazy, crazy journey. I feel like the biggest part that has helped me with all of this is just like they usually say like, some people are born to do something. You're passionate about something, you want to do it. And I feel like that's been the thing that has just carried me throughout this entire experience. Like of course, I live in Littlestown, Pennsylvania. So if you can't tell, it's not very big. It's, right on the Mason-Dixon. It's a very, very small farm town. And so, moving from having these big dreams back home where like, of course, like, you're excited and you're like, I'm gonna go do this thing and it's gonna be awesome. Like, but I come from no musical business background. I don't really come from like any connections to the industry at all. So me just taking the step to move to Nashville was huge. But at the same time, I had so much support from my family, which is so crazy because, like, usually people have the story of like, my parents, they didn't want me to do music and all this. And I've received nothing but so much support and so much love from not only my parents, but my family, my friends, my, peers in high school and middle school. Like, it was just always in my mind what I wanted to do and what I knew I was going to do. Um, and I think that's just the crazy part about it. So when I, was gonna move 700 some miles away to go pursue, my dream in Nashville where I knew no one, it really was a no-brainer for me. I don't even know if I was that nervous. I think the biggest thing I was nervous about was just college, just moving to a new area. And so as soon as I got here, I already felt like I fit in and I wanted to do everything I could to, stand out because there's 10,000 of me in Nashville. Like, there's so many singer-songwriters, and not even just in Nashville, in the entire world. There are so many of us, and you have to figure out how to make yourself stand out, how to make yourself, be the person that someone would think of to recommend you to anyone. It's, this whole business is a relationship business. And I feel like that was the thing that really clicked with me as soon as I got to Nashville, because I realized, coming from that small town, I was one of the only people who's really even interested in music. So coming here where everyone is interested in music and they're pretty dang good, like how do I stand out? How do I make myself different than the next person? And not better than the next person, but just different and unique. And so, as soon as I got here, I started networking as much as I could with my teachers. Belmont is such a great school for connections. So like anytime I would have a teacher, I'd be like, I would love to meet sometime, talk some business, any advice you have. And eventually that led me to auditioning for The Voice. On top of, I've been gigging a lot. I have a pretty set gig that I love to sing at the Cowboy Church, at the Texas Troubadour Theater. That's been a really big thing to help me prepare. And I also did Christmas at Belmont, which was a televised Christmas special we did. It was on Prime. It was super cool. That was a great thing to prepare me for getting on The Voice. And so I auditioned, and I've auditioned a couple times. I think I've auditioned for the virtual open call like 3 or 4 times. But I feel like people would always ask, like, aren't like, you already auditioned, like, do you want to do it again? Like, once you get that no, like, is that necessarily a no? And it's never a no, in my opinion. It's always just try again. There's, and sometimes you don't even have to really do anything different other than slightly improve. Like, it's really just God's timing or whenever the right moment for you to step forward is. And I personally, when I was auditioning for season 28, I did not think this was the one time where I was like, all right, like, I'm just gonna audition. I'll just see what happens. Like, my phone was at 9% when I sent in my open call. So I was like not expecting anything. And beautifully enough, that's what got me to The Voice. And so, I mean, now that I've gone through the show, it's been the perfect opportunity for me to step into myself. And now I have something that makes me, unique to my own story. Rather than, I've stepped from this kid recording covers in their basement to now someone who's been on national television, on a nationally televised singing competition. So that's really special. And I've been able to, I feel like in the best way, I have been really represented well on the show. I've had a really good time learning how to present myself and my character in front of a camera. So I'm really grateful for that as well.
For sure. And I guess the question that I would ask is you're talking about sort of just like being able to, or I don't know how to phrase this, but like being able to fit in.
Hmm.
Um, do you feel like you've sort of now found yourself in the right area, in the right place? And has this been the right timing for you in your life where you kind of like look at it and just say, well, I think I've found my home. I think I've
Yeah.
found where I'm really destined to be. Like, do you feel like you're in that headspace now?
For sure. I actually, the first year that I moved to Nashville, I thought to myself, I was like, I don't know if I could live here. Like I wanted to pursue music, but I was trying to think of different ways where I could like stay at home and, maybe travel back and forth to Nashville. And maybe it was just because I wasn't ready yet. But once I got to my second year of school, something just clicked. And I think it was because I felt more confident in myself and who I was as an artist. Because like my freshman year, you're just moving to college, you're trying to figure everything out. Like it's a lot of growth that year. And so my sophomore year, I started feeling like this was more of a place where I belonged and I wanted to stay. And I was starting to, meet people and know people, and people knew me, and I was getting asked to do stuff. And then like I realized how much I loved Nashville and how I would love to stay here. And of course, I really do miss home. I love being at home, but who doesn't? But that was, the thing about like where I am specifically, I realized how much I love Nashville, and then for how much I love my career, feeling like I fit into the thing I've wanted to do my entire life. There's definitely been a lot of reassurance with not only being on The Voice, but just how I have been received by audiences. It's kind of really, because like you can think like, oh, I want to do this, I think I'd be really good at this, but like when you're an artist, y- you're career really lies solely in people viewing you. Like you're like, don't care what other people think, but you kind of have to when you're an artist. And not in a way where it's debilitating, but like I have been lucky enough to where I have been getting very good feedback from the people that not only I don't know and have just watched the show, but also from home. That's been a great thing. And so I really just feel so rooted and, um, reassured that this is the path that I'm definitely meant to be on.
For sure. And talk to me about home.
Yeah.
What is home like for you?
So I grew up, my parents aren't together. So I've grown up in between two houses my entire life, which is why I'm really good at traveling. I'm so used to just traveling back and forth. And so my home has been a couple, it's a couple different ideas. Like of course, like currently I live on a farm, which I kind of sort of grew up in. It's a family home. And so um you know, all of home, it's a lot of farmland. I always tell people that you have to look out for like three things when you're driving around my area. It's deer, then of course the Amish people, and then the Civil War reenactors from Gettysburg. um, it's just it's such a beautiful place to grow up because not only, of course, it's a gorgeous area because it's farmland. It's all open and it's beautiful, but it makes you appreciate the history that's gone into your living there. And I think that's also, I'm a very old soul, so like I really connect with all of that kind of stuff. So that's just it. I felt like living there has made me grow into having a really big appreciation for, nature, my home, where I'm from, all the people that are around me, because it's such a small area. Like basically everybody knows everybody for the most part. And so you're really held accountable for who you are as a person. It's a it was the perfect place to grow up. Seriously, it was so great. And also, since you're in Southern PA, Northern Maryland, right on that line, that's a lot of where a lot of bluegrass music is super, super, super popular. So like having that influence of bluegrass and traditional country is really what helped me narrow down what my specific love is in specific genres. Like it feels like it's the perfect place to listen to that music and also love that music and sing it. It's awesome.
Absolutely. I don't know if you're familiar with I think people who are familiar with Rhonda Vincent.
I
Rhonda
love
Vince
oh my gosh.
Rhonda Vincent, I will say right now, Rhonda Vincent is actually a very good friend of this show, has made an
Are you
appearance on the show.
serious?
So she's
Oh,
been on this podcast, and if anyone knows about Branson, Missouri, the biggest band there is the Petersons band.
yeah.
Yeah, and the Petersons were on this show as well, and
That's so cool.
so being able to speak with them has been just a pleasure, and
That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So people should go check out that episode. That's a really good episode to
Yeah.
look at. And just talking about people that you meet along the way, um, you met Sofronio Vasquez.
Yes, I did.
Tell me
And
about
it
him
was like a
because Sofronio is also a good friend of the show, has been on the show as
oh
well.
cool.
And
Yeah, he
Bryce Leatherwood has also been on the show.
oh, that's
Um,
cool.
yeah, so talk to me about Sofronio because now he's having a huge career all of a sudden with David
Yes.
Foster and Michael Bublé. Tell me about that. What is the experience like meeting him?
That was so cool. I know him obviously from the show, being on the show. But he's so kind. And then like it was just a quick interaction as he was like walking backstage to go on stage. But he was so sweet. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're so talented." Like having a total fangirl moment and it was amazing. And then he goes up on stage and just totally wows everyone. He's such a total package. He's so kind and he's also like I mean, you just have to listen to him to know how talented he is.
Absolutely. Well, talking about sort of talented wise, I want to talk about and just play a snippet of this song that you released, your new single, One Lane, and I want to play that now for everybody.
Awesome.
Till I take the exit when I drive on a one-lane road. Takes me back to my little rhyme. Trace of Mason-Dixon comes alive on a
Well, that was Aubrey Nicole's new single called One Lane. You can go and find that everywhere on all audio streaming platforms, wherever you get your music. Talk to me about One Lane, the process behind
Yeah, it
writing
was
that song.
yeah. So I wanted to write a song that I thought it was a perfect song to be my first song to come out. It's about never forgetting where you're from, no matter where you go. And it kind of, oh, gosh, when I wrote this, I started writing this my freshman year. Because when I had first moved to Nashville, obviously, like we were talking about before, like I come from a very small town, and in my brain, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm moving to this terrifying big city. Like that's pretty scary. And so the very first time I ever felt like Nashville wasn't so big, or like, I still always remembered home no matter where I was I was driving in Nashville, and I was driving on one of the back roads, and I was just driving through like this sweet little neighborhood, and then I was driving through the woods, and I was like, wow, like this is just like home. And so that idea kind of like sat for a while, and then my sophomore year, once I realized how much I loved it here, I finally got the inspiration for the song. I was like, I want to write a song about how much I love home, and it'll always be with me even though I'm in this big city here. So that is kind of the main idea that really helped me start writing the song, and then the rest of it is basically talking about home and what I do remember. And yeah, it was really fun. I wanted to write a song that would be a good way to introduce myself. And now that I was on The Voice, I wrote this before I got on the show. I think it's the perfect song to come off The Voice with and to start my, releasing career with.
Absolutely. Well, tell me about your favorite line in the song. When you think about the song that you wrote called One Lane, was there a specific line in the song that kind of like resonated with you that basically told you like in your head, like you basically said in your own head, where like this was the line that really told the story of my career?
Yeah.
What line in this song do you feel resonated with you the most?
So there's technically, I think there's two, but one of them, I think the line I love the most because it's just cute and it's creative. Like I live on the Mason-Dixon line, so when I drive on a one-lane road, it takes me back to my little line traced in Mason-Dixon. As a songwriter, I was like, I love that. But the line that definitely resonates with me the most is, that's a really good question. Definitely like the even when I'm miles away, I won't lose track, which is also switched in the second verse with now I'm in this big city, but I won't lose track because that for as for what remains, it all comes back on a one lane. I think that if I could put the song into one sentence, that's what it would be.
This is like absolutely like songwriting Mad Libs here. Like
I guess it was so fun.
just being able to explore sort of this song. And I'm trying to like think now. I'm like this is a great song, but like it's got like I love how when I listen to songs, I kind of listen to sort of how you transition into the chorus and the parts that are really important. But when the drums start kicking in, and then you get into the line where you begin from the chorus, the pre-chorus to the
Yeah,
chorus, where you basically says taking it to the exit, and
yeah.
then going down to Mason-Dixon line, whatever. That was like that was like songwriting like 101. That was like the perfect sort of like segue into going into that line. So I
I thought
mean,
it was a cute way to like, because I mean, you're literally like when you go from the highway, which is like the verse, and then you take the pre-chorus, which is the exit, and then you're in the chorus, which is about one lane that I was talking about. I was literally this song, like I had too much fun with it. It was so fun.
you're sort of okay. I just want to reiterate something here for the listeners, okay? And we're gonna have some fun here because I want to talk about Taylor Swift, for example,
Yeah,
because you kind of remind me a little bit of her, where you
yeah.
sort of like have like these certain lines in songs that you write, and then you're like you get so giddy over it because you're like, man, that just like that line just like I could just bottle that up and then just enjoy that for a moment. And then just to think
Yeah.
about Taylor Swift, I remember her saying that like on an interview, I think she was talking with Jimmy Fallon, and Jimmy was asking her like, "Do you ever feel weird like being in conversation, like a normal conversation with a friend? Do you feel that it's like weird having like normal conversations nowadays with friends?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's so weird because every word that's like in normal life is weird for me to say because I've used it on almost every album that I've created. I know everybody thinks that like, like I'm just paraphrasing lines from different songs in context, and people like dig deeper into like, well, she's got a new single out, right? Because she's paraphrasing this. I'm like, it's just the thing with songwriting. It's that's how captivating it is. Um,
Hmm.
like Kelsey Ballerini, Half of My Hometown, featuring Kenny Chesney.
Yes.
That song was like almost like this song, One Lane, where it takes you
Hmm.
back to your roots, but you're also reminded of yourself, like where you came from and where you're going. Um,
Yeah.
and talking about where you're going, before we started this podcast, we were talking about and joking around about Chick-fil-A. Tell me about what did you get at Chick-fil-A? Tell me about your meal. Like
Yes.
what is your go-to guilty pleasure, I guess?
Oh, it's from Chick-fil-A or somewhere else?
Well, it can be from anywhere.
Okay. This is bad. I'm a huge McDonald's fan. Um, Anytime I want something like really good, I will immediately go to McDonald's. I get myself a two cheeseburger meal, large fry and a Coke, sometimes an apple pie if I'm feeling really fancy. But I'm so I'm so big of a fan of McDonald's. It's
Wait a
terrible.
second. Wait a second. Hold the phone here. You guys
Yeah.
have apple pie in your McDonald's?
Yes.
We don't.
Are you serious?
We don't. But
They're
my
taking
o-
it away from you.
but tell me about, well, just let me tell you this. McDonald's, don't ever feel guilty about it. It's everyone loves McDonald's. It just nothing can compare to
They
it.
better. It's so good.
I usually have actually the same exact meal that you do.
Yeah.
I get like two quarter pounder cheeseburgers,
Yeah.
and then medium fries and a drink.
Yep.
But I never knew that you guys have apple pie with it. That's interesting.
So good. My dad used to always get them when I was little, and so the bug bit me. I love them. They're so good.
Then why are you
And
having Chick-fil-A if you like McDonald's?
because we have a Chick-fil-A on our campus, and it's for free because it's my dining card. So
Oh,
that's why I got
that's
Chick-fil-A.
cool.
But actually, do I do love Chick-fil-A. I'm a Chick-fil-A lover.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that either. Um,
Yep.
but I just wonder how expensive it is there. I feel like the dining cards to use, like, tell me
Yeah.
about that.
They're honestly, that's a really good question. I think it's the exact same price as any regular Chick-fil-A. We just have like our dining dollars, or like we can use our meal swipe there during the day, which is a part of our dining plan. So that's how we kind of cover that. But I'm pretty sure it's the exact same price as the actual um restaurant.
For sure. Well, talking about love for eating and love for McDonald's and stuff like that. Tell me about sort of the love for singing really heartfelt, powerful ballads like Martina McBride's "I'm Gonna Love You Through It." Um, because that was a really resonating performance because everybody can relate to the song choice that you made about cancer and making awareness of it. Tell me more about the song choice. Why was it poignant to your life?
Yeah. So I really love choosing songs that mean a lot to me. I feel like that's kind of my niche. As a singer, I need to always, sing songs that are, emotional, but emotional songs don't have to be slow, and well, actually a ballad isn't necessarily sad. It can be upbeat too. But I really wanted a song that I could really connect to because, I was a one-tier turn, and then I didn't even win my battle round. So I was like, I really have to dig in to what makes me different and special. And so I was like listening through different songs, and I had never heard the song before. And I am so mad that I haven't heard it. But immediately I was like, oh my gosh. Like it's just such a beautiful song. And then you think about that, like the music of the song is beautiful. It already gives you such a reaction to it. It's written beautifully and it's composed beautifully. Um, but I then when I actually listen to the lyrics, like it's just number one, it's an important topic to talk about in general, and it's very universal. Of course, I can't really think of anyone who hasn't been affected by cancer in one way, shape, or form, whether it's, closer related to you or your family members or like even a further relation of just the idea in general is so hard. Or at the same time, it doesn't necessarily have to be about cancer. The lines are just about picking someone up when they're sad or hurting. So that was a thing that I really love. But also, my dad had cancer right when I had moved to college. He's in remission, so that's really, really great. But it's hard, and it always like it's it happens to the people that you know, the one of the lines is the song is cancer doesn't discriminate, and that's so true because it happens to anyone, and it's crazy. And so I was listening to this song, and actually, a couple weeks or maybe less than a couple weeks prior, a really good, I don't want to say friend because she was like a I don't want to. What's the word I'm looking for? I guess like a family friend. She had passed away from cancer, and I really brought to my attention again how hard that is to watch or even just hear about anyone you love being sick or genuinely just not okay. And so during that time, that song just really, really hit me. And I was like, this is the song that I want to sing. I remember emailing production. I was like, this is the song. I would love to sing this song. If I can, it's totally okay. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say I want to sing this one, but like, this is one that I really, really, really want to do.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, this song is very resonating for a lot of people, and I think it resonated with the voice listeners and the viewers, and I hope it does with everybody at home.
Yeah.
But I think just talking about sort of this whole voice experience, I remember there was one girl who sang a song called "This One's for the Girls,"
Yeah.
and she went from the chorus and made it a little bit softer
Hmm.
and went straight and looked into the eyes of a little girl and said and spoke to her and sang the lyrics straight to her.
Oh,
But this one's for the girls and to remind them, like you can chase your dreams too.
yeah.
Like if I'm up here, you can be up here. Um, Tell me about sort of the impact that you want to make on sort of young young people, especially like female, who want to get into this career field, and what sort of advice would you give?
Yeah, I that's been the coolest thing about being on the show is having, some of these kids from back home who are like my biggest fans. Like it's so sweet. And this little girl came up to me and she asked me, she was like, "I want to be a singer. I want to be just like you. Like, what advice would you give me?" And that oh my goodness, like that was such a dream come true just because I was that little girl at some point. Like I remember asking other artists that when I was her age. So that was just it's so cool that now I'm in the position to give other people that advice. Um but I told her the biggest thing is to you just have to realize that your uniqueness is literally the thing that is going to get you further. Of course, other than the fact, you have to take every opportunity you can. But like it's just so important to be original. And as especially as a woman or a girl growing up, like of course you want to fit in. Like I remember doing that as a kid. I've been lucky enough to where I've never felt like I super like I've always felt like I've stood out, but like I never felt not okay with that just because I went to a really small school. So there wasn't really anyone who was like clicky and all that. So I just got lucky. But like even then, I still felt like, oh gosh, like I at least want to fit in one way, shape, or form. And now that I'm older, and especially that once I started college, I was like, oh my gosh, like there's parts of myself that are really important for me to stay true to because they are what make me different. And in this industry, you have to be different. Like you can be an incredible singer and all this and all that, but like there are literally so many other people who are just wanting to do the same thing. So while you have to stay different, you also have to take absolutely every chance you can, whether that's, you know, an unpaid gig where you're performing in a restaurant and there's no one there versus an arena. You know, you have to take every single little opportunity, even if it's, you know, y- in Nashville, you never know what it's going to be. Like you could seriously, I went to this um coffee shop and it ended up being a really, really great gig. Like you never know who's going to be there or what opportunity you think is small but actually isn't small. Like you have to do everything you can. But at the same time, you have to stay true to yourself and you have to stay unique. So it's a lot. But when you love it and you really want it, those are the two biggest things that you have to do.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, that's really good advice, like, and I can definitely relate to that because as a person who does sing here too, I love singing.
Yeah.
Singing, especially country music,
Oh,
is
that's
is
awesome.
really like in my heart and soul.
Yeah.
The latest cover I think I released was "Whenever You Come Around" by Vince Gill. Uh,
That's a beautiful song.
that's my favorite song of all time.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. It's Vince is probably one of my favorite artists of all time, and
Me too.
his quote that he said, and it really stuck with me. And he said, "Don't hope that your work will be successful. Hope that it'll be significant." And I hope that now that we are concluding our time together, I hope that you feel that you don't hope that your work will be successful, but that you hope that the work will be significant for you. Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, that concludes our time together, but thank you so much for taking the time out to join me on the podcast today.
Thank you so much. This was so fun. I had a great time.
Well, I'm glad you had a great time, and thanks to my guest Aubrey and Nicole. To find out more about her, you can connect through socials. And remember, you can find my show wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow me on all social media platforms. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.